I am so excited to show up and connect with you. I want feedback. I want questions. Reach out to me. I love to chat, and I am really passionate about helping women feel more confident in their bodies. So today I'm going to share some helpful steps that you can take towards your weight loss and health goals with full transparency and a little tough love that I wish I would have known years ago so that you're not wasting your time with strategies that simply don't work. Trust me when I say I know how frustrating it is to start a diet off with really high hopes, but really be unsure if the plan that you're following is actually going to work. It can feel so defeating to be unclear if the effort that you are putting in is even going to give you those outcomes that you desire. So today, I'm going to share with you the exact steps you need to focus on to produce lasting results. Today, you're going to discover the true facts about sustainable weight loss because there are lots of lies out there that you've been told. And to give you a little tough love if you believe some of those lies. And I'll be honest, I believed a lot of information that simply wasn't useful. The diet industry, MLMs, and continuous ads on social media and Google tell us a lot of inaccurate information that can leave you spinning your wheels, getting nowhere, and wondering what is true and what is false. And I want your efforts to actually lead you to the results that you desire. Tonight, I'm going to break through this BS and get really clear on exactly what to focus on to get you the results that you both desire and deserve. I love sharing this information, and I hope you're excited to learn something new or maybe even confirm some of the suspicions that you felt about diets. I hope that you could take something new and make more progress or have more clarity about the diets on the market. So if you've ever felt stuck and hopeless, frustrated, or embarrassed about the body shape and size, or experienced your pants digging into your belly, or nothing, nothing in your closet fits correctly, crying after taking photos, trying different fad diets with no real lasting results to show for. If you've ever felt like throwing in the towel, like the cards are stacked against you, that your metabolism must be broken, then chances are you're going to relate to my story. I didn't have this figured out. I would always tell myself you should never miss a Monday, every Monday, after I'd completely messed up the weekend yet again. Now, I had a job before that allowed you to wear jeans on Friday. And that sounds great, but I actually hated it because I didn't have jeans that would actually fit. And then you're sitting down in a desk and the jeans are digging into your belly and your sides. And honestly, it was just the worst. My camera feed was full of pictures of my kids and my husband, but I'm like kind of hidden behind with only headshots strategically placed behind one of my kids. One of my old strategies of starting and stopping the same old restrictive diets wasn't working for me. I was tired of taking that before picture that ended in tears. And then I got to take my after pictures. I had to change. I had to think differently. I had to stop the quick fixes. I had to stop believing all of the things that the diet world has been telling us, especially women, all our lives. I couldn't do the things that worked for me in my 20s. I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I'm going to give you a dose of tough love. And maybe you need to hear it so that you can actually see the progress that you've been working hard for. And to be absolutely clear, the tough love is not just try harder. That's not the solution. Let's dive into the actual solutions. So, truth number one, diets work. And maybe you've been told that diets don't work. So, this is actually both true and false. Let me explain here. There's three key factors that you need to say that your diet will work. You need to be in a consistent calorie deficit so it can be effective. And it needs to be comparative to how you want to live your life long term. So a lot of diets restrict the time that you can eat, or particular foods that you can eat, in order to reduce those calories, to put you in a calorie deficit. So you ask, am I supposed to eat every 2 hours? We've been told that, right? Or skip breakfast altogether? Should you eat after 6 p.m.? Should you only eat whole foods? Is carb free or fat free the best, or dairy free or gluten free or sugar free or alcohol free or fun free? What's right? What's right for me? But you can easily overeat on non-carb foods. You can easily overeat inside your eating window because you're hungry. You can even overeat on healthy whole foods. And then not only are you not seeing results because you're not in a deficit, you're also feeling restricted. And that really is what leads to a poor relationship with food. Okay, so what about 1,200 calories, that magic number? Because that's a deficit. But remember, it needs to be a consistent deficit. 1,200 calories is responsible for decreasing your metabolism too fast, binging and restricting, and a really poor relationship with food. It's not something most people are going to be able to be consistent with. And then you're going to end up yo yoing anyway. So you need something that's a little bit more doable, something more realistic. My clients actually work in ranges so that we can increase that consistency. Here's another dose of tough love. 50% effort and consistency won't get you A+ results. Restrictive diets cause a lot of all or nothing thinking. You have strong willpower and determination during the week to eat perfectly, and you're all in. But then Friday afternoon hits, and you just can't handle life anymore without sugar and chips and pizza and tacos and margaritas and wine. One treat turns into 5 treats. The weekend turns into a shit show of eating all the things, while you wonder how in the world other people are able to control themselves because, man, you just don't have the willpower. And that might have been a little bit of a personal story, but I'm sure that you might be able to relate to it in some way. And it's not teaching you how to eat long term when you have all these restrictions, unless you're permanently going to be giving up all the carbs or never eating in the morning. That's the problem with diets. You just really power through or toughen up during the diet phase, but you need to have a plan to continue on. And this is why we often gain the weight back. I totally get it. My fitness journey was full of trying lots of different diets, little hacks, quick fixes, cardio, boot camps, and just supplement crap. Have you ever tried any of these yourself? Did they work for you? And what was your experience? So some of the things I tried, I have these pictures. I tried the colored containers, but then I found out you had to wash them every time you needed to change them out. They actually ended up as bath toys and still are to this day. I tried Weight Watchers points several times, several times, and always gained the weight back almost immediately. I tried soups, fat burners, willpower, and I just failed them all. I did try 1,200 calories. That only lasted me about 4 days. Of course, I'd try to repeat that again every Monday, but then I'd end up eating like 6,000 calories afterwards because I tried to cut out everything and it just didn't work. I tried cutting out sugar. That is just definitely not something that was going to work for me. I love my sweets. And then I would tell myself I was a failure because I couldn't stick with it. I tried to have my mom and my sisters and my husband hold me accountable, and it just didn't work. And then I turned to exercise. I'd exercise and exercise and exercise, but I'd look in the mirror, and even if I did lose weight, I still didn't see any changes to my body. And I thought I was being good. And then I'd find myself sneaking to the candy dish and having stuff I couldn't have on the diet. Hello, poor relationship with food. I'd have low energy all day long. And I even tried some meal plans, but each one came with foods I didn't like or didn't know how to substitute in its place, or some 15 ingredient meal that I didn't have time to cook or even find the ingredients if I even knew what they were. I just couldn't do it. And then I told myself I was weak. I'd be stuck in a weight loss plateau with the scale not moving. So I just give up and gain back anything that I had lost. I'd blame my metabolism. I even cried in dressing rooms when I had to get an even bigger pair of pants. I was deflated that I couldn't figure it out. And all of these diet options just left me stuck and more confused than ever. And down deep, you know that none of those will work for you, even if it did work for your neighbor, your coworker, or your sister, if you can't stick with it. And you're right, because either you've been there, done that, or you already know that these plans won't fuel you and your busy life. They aren't long-term solutions, and they plain just don't work for your actual goal. Even if you lose 10 pounds, does water weight even really count as the weight loss that you are desiring? And what if that weight loss, what if some of that's muscle loss? That's a huge problem with diets. They want you to lose weight really fast, and they don't really care what the weight is. They want to see like that big, they want you to have that big result. Do you really want to lose muscle just to lose weight? Decreased muscle will decrease your metabolism, and then you won't be able to eat as much. What's that going to create long term? Will you regain the weight if your metabolism is adapted because you have lower muscle mass? What kind of stress is there from your diet? This is a side note. It's a big downfall of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, I really don't recommend to people over the age of 35 to 40 because of the stress that it puts on your body. And what about your relationship with food? Does your diet address that or make it worse? How are you going to make adjustments when you do hit a plateau? If you don't know where you are now, how are you going to cut down lower? Does your diet have a plan for that? Or will you just sit there and spin your wheels until you give up and then yo-yo diet? It's not that these diets don't work. They work if they actually put you in that deficit, and not just during the week, but over the course of the full week and continuing on. But how do you actually know if you're in that deficit? So here's the tough love truth. If you really want to be in a diet phase and you want it to be effective, you're going to need to track your food to make sure you're actually in a calorie deficit. Take out that guesswork. Diets do work if you're in a calorie deficit. So when I learned about tracking macros, I almost immediately knew, no, it was immediately. I knew it was exactly the data-driven, flexible solution I'd been needing. I was able to discover food balance and that food wasn't good or bad. All the food could work. And so my relationship with food actually improved. With a coach, I started using and relying on action and consistency more than motivation. And this created momentum to actually keep me moving forward, which created more motivation. And then I saw more results. And this really started my journey to get healthy, fit, and confident. And it really did work. I dropped the pounds, but more importantly, my body completely transformed. It wasn't a skinny fat that I've achieved in the past. It was more of a shapely, womanly, strong body that I always wanted. I actually looked toned. So Macros Simplified is that most effective, efficient, and enjoyable way to lose weight and keep it off while without having to give up your favorite foods, feeling restricted or deprived, and you could eat dinner with the family. Macros work to put you in a consistent calorie deficit, and the foods I chose to eat are comparative to my life outside of that dieting phase. I just eat a little less. I eat dinner with the kids every night. Macros are data driven. You track your intake, you track your progress, and you make sure those efforts are effective. And if they're not effective, you make adjustments in a plateau phase so that your efforts do remain efficient. I'm a busy mom too, seriously, so busy. And I know that you don't have time to waste on the things that won't get you the results. And that's why I simplified macros. And I'll talk to you more about the simplification of it later. It's also important to have a diet phase be at least somewhat enjoyable. There's room for treats. And in fact, I want you to have some treats already built into your plan for your week so that you'll be working on moderation now. The diet isn't over when you lose the weight. You need to keep those results. So you need to practice awareness of food, practice moderation now, even in a cut. And that will help you keep the weight off long term because really that's the goal, right? So, kind of in summary here, diets work if you're in a consistent calorie deficit and it's comparative to your life outside the dieting phase so that you can maintain your progress. Okay, truth number 2, weight loss and fat loss are not the same. They are different. And this is where so many diets fail. The focus of most diets is weight loss. I mean, that's what we're always taught. You probably have a goal weight right now. And you probably have an image in your head of what that's going to look like. And we use the scale to measure progress, right? The scale measures your entire body weight, fat, muscles, water, stomach contents, your hair, your bones, everything. And the diet industry knows this. And they want you to get fast results to show that their method works, right? And when you stop eating carbs, because that's the best way to do it, and you lose some fat, and then you also lose a ton of water. And you see very fast results when you cut out the carbs because carbs carry 3 to 4 grams of water per gram of carb. So reducing carbs reduces your stored water in your cells. And that's why you have that rapid weight loss. So also very rapid weight loss, either through exercise or low calories, create an environment where your body will lose muscle. So your body recognizes a famine-like situation and it's going to expend what it needs to keep you alive. And that's going to be muscle. In those low calorie situations, it's muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. So how do you prevent losing muscle in that weight loss process so that you can mostly lose the fat? This is where Macro Simplified comes in to prioritize protein and do resistance training. And we'll talk more about the resistance training later. So we talked about this a little, but why do we hold so tight to that scale weight? Our body is 60% water. So there are going to be daily fluctuations. That's why I recommend weighing daily. So you can see those fluctuations up and down and realize that they are just that, fluctuations. It doesn't look like this. It looks up and down, and it does go a trend downward, but it goes up and down in that trend downward. And then you're going to take a scientific approach and use the information as data. I work on this a lot inside my coaching program with my clients. Weight loss or weight gain is simply the scale going up or down. And that scale change can happen if you pee, if you had more food in your digestive tract at a certain point, if you gain or lose muscle, if you gain or lose water, if you gain or lose fat with salt intake, water intake, you ate a later meal, you need a bowel movement. Also, sleep and stress can affect the number on the scale. Your menstrual cycle, a hard or new workout when your muscles are sore, it creates inflammation and it pulls in water. If you ate more or less carbs for the day, like we talked about, that pulls in water. So a weight change doesn't really tell us very much about what's going on with your body composition on a daily basis, but you will start to see those fluctuations so that you can notice them and collect that data. So when you actually lose fat, your body shape changes. And you see this visually in the mirror. Um, yeah, you see this visually in the mirror. When I talk about this concept, one of the visuals that comes up that I love to share, I love this one, is me at 145 pounds. But my body composition is very different. You can clearly tell that I have much higher body fat percentage in that first picture with lower muscle mass. And in the second picture, I weighed the same amount, but my body looks different. And that's because I have more muscle mass and less fat mass. And that's why focusing on fat loss rather than only weight loss is so important. And that's not to say you're not going to lose weight tracking macros. You will. You're going to see both, but it's not the only measurement to show progress. What most people want when they say they want weight loss is that they actually want to lose fat and look more toned. And we do that through building muscle in the weight loss process. So, how do we ensure that you lose body fat, improve your body composition, and tone up? Isn't it mostly about the calories? Well, yes and no. To lose weight, as we talked about in that first discussion, you need to burn more calories than you take in. That's the law of thermodynamics. So, yes, a calorie deficit is required. Calories are the base of the pyramid. And that calorie number, is dependent on your gender, your age, your weight, your body composition, prior dieting history. That's a big one. Exercise, lifestyle, hormones, medications, and many other factors that are unique to you. And that's why an online calculator isn't always able to give you the best starting calories for you, let alone adding in the macros to that. You're going to need a custom personalized plan for you. But if fat loss is the goal, you to actually get that toned look, not just a skinny fat look, then you need a personalized calorie range and to eat enough, likely more protein. You also are going to need to remove the mindset that the scale is the only number, the only definition of success, and accountability checkpoints to help you stay consistent. This is how my clients lose weight, to ensure that the majority of that weight is fat. Okay, guys, this one's really going to ruffle some feathers here. Cardio is not the best exercise for weight loss. I 100% thought cardio was the number one tool to get me to my goal. I was totally that cardio girl. I remember going to the gym to run or use the elliptical in college so that I could earn my night out. But as I aged, cardio became less and less effective. And now I know why. So our bodies are super smart, they adapt. So while a 3-mile run can burn a ton of calories for the first 3 weeks when I do it, my body adapts and I get better at running. That's a good thing. My conditioning was better. These are good things. But the bad part about that is because my body adapted, it's now not burning as many calories as it initially did. So I need to run longer or further or faster to burn the same amount of calories. And let's be honest, my time commitment wasn't going to be hours. It also hurt my knees. The winter weather gave me all the excuses. And to be honest, it wasn't really giving me the body I wanted. It was just making me kind of a skinny fat look. Another downside of cardio, when used for weight loss specifically, it makes you hungry, which makes it increasingly difficult to stay in your deficit. And it may feel like since you burned 500 calories, you should be able to eat an extra 500 calories as well. But that's not necessarily true. There's been studies done to show that the calorie burn from our watches or the machines we're using that measure the calories aren't even remotely accurate, like over 60% inaccurate. And that doesn't mean like don't use the watch, but don't use it for the calorie burn. And definitely do not eat back those calories. Turn off that function in your calorie tracker. Calorie burn from cardio is in that moment. It burns the most calories in that moment, but I want you to think a little bit longer term on this. So, what if there was a better way to increase the amount of calories your body burns, even at rest while you're sleeping, and not just for a few minutes, but for hours, days, weeks, months, and years? That sounds like a solution I want, right? Um, but let's talk about how you burn calories throughout the day first. Um, Sorry, I skipped this one. So we talked in depth about calories in, which is eating during step one and making sure you're actually in a calorie deficit. Then in step two, we talked about eating enough protein so that we lose fat and keep the muscle. So let's talk about the calories out part of the equation. This is called your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. So this is made up of your BMR, which is 65 to 75% of your TDEE. This is the energy you expend at rest, just being alive, lying in bed, in a coma, to maintain your essential bodily functions. The next biggest one is NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is the energy expended that is not sleeping, eating, or sports-like activity. So walking, talking with your hands, fidgeting, typing, cleaning the house, cooking dinner, doing the laundry, things like that. And then we have TEF. This is the thermic effect of food, the energy required to digest, absorb, metabolize the food you eat. So, fun fact here, protein has the highest TEF at 15 to 30%. Carbs are 5 to 10, and fats are 0 to 3. So, eating more protein is going to increase your TEF. So, added bonus there. And then we have your exercise activity thermogenesis, your EAT. And that is your intentional exercise. Again, 5 to 10% right there. So, since the biggest portion of this circle is the BMR, wouldn't it make sense to focus here? By building muscle, you can increase your BMR at rest. You build muscle by lifting weights with progressive overload, and you won't get bulky. That's going to be another tough love concept that we'll talk about another day. But building muscle improves your metabolism. It allows you to eat more. It helps to prevent osteoporosis. It creates that toned look that you're going for. Weightlifting is essential for maintaining your current muscle mass, maintaining the mass during the weight loss phase. And if you're new to lifting, you could potentially gain muscle during that process as well. And this is again because we want to lose the fat and not just weight. We want to keep the muscle and lose the fat. So, what's the optimal activity level for you? That kind of depends on where you're starting at, your goals, your preferences, and we can adjust them to accommodate your lifestyle. NEAT, again, you're walking your steps, is going to be beneficial for long-term lasting results. Living that active lifestyle, getting in daily movement. This is the big one that gets overlooked. Walking just doesn't seem to be like, can we really get results just by walking? But don't overlook it. It's a big deal. It has a lot of benefits, not just for burning calories, but mentally as well. Okay, so lifting weights is essential for muscle retention and growth. If you don't use it, you lose it, especially as you age. Each year, you lose muscle unless you actively try to prevent that. And we want to keep as much muscle on you as we can to keep your metabolism high. Muscle burns more calories at rest. Remember that like huge portion, that huge BMR category? We want to burn more calories at rest. And so lifting weights is incredibly important for that. So you increase your metabolism or at least keep your metabolism where it is. Your muscle mass decreases as you age unless we do something to prevent that. Okay, and then cardio. Do what you love, make it enjoyable. This is where a lot of women get caught up. They want to exercise away their food or You do not earn your food. Exercise should not be a punishment. And so just do the do the cardio that you enjoy doing. And like we kind of talked about with cardio, you don't burn nearly as much as the activity trackers say you do. And it can actually be catabolic, which means it breaks down muscle. Um, so it's not bad. I don't want to be the person that says it's bad. It has its place, and it can be a part of your daily step goal. Some people really love it. It feels good to them to have that endorphin release from like a really hard workout. But if you're not doing it currently and you don't know where to start, lifting weights and walking are going to be your most benefit for sustained weight loss. And then cardio can be a lever we pull later if you're not seeing results and you hit that plateau and you don't want to cut down on your food further. Because weightlifting is so important to your metabolism and your bone health as we age, I include 5 days of a week of weightlifting workouts for my clients so they don't lose muscle mass in the weight loss process. So they keep their metabolism high. So they get that toned look that they actually desire. The mindset stuff. This is the one that's oftentimes missing from most plans. So you are where your attention is. If you continue to believe that macro tracking is time consuming, obsessive, hard, then it will be. And how is that serving you? What other things are you telling yourself? And how is that serving you? At this point, you're probably already starting to see the benefits that come along with macro tracking and the awareness of what you're eating and the effectiveness of actually knowing you're in a deficit and the benefit of focusing on fat loss rather than just weight loss through protein, the efficiency of being able to adjust if things aren't working, and the enjoyability of flexibility instead of rigid restriction. But you still have that nagging feeling maybe that it's too time consuming or obsessive or hard to track macros. And so that's why I created Metabolism Macros Simplified. The truth is, calories equated, carbs and fats don't really matter for weight loss. Personal preferences matter more than an exact rigid carb fat ratio to make your diet sustainable. Consistency matters more, and having less rigidity with tracking all of the macros allows for much more flexibility. So it decreases the time spent trying to come up with the exact combination of food to hit those targets. So, what does matter? Calories, we talked about that, protein, and so we simplify those two targets instead of four. And additionally, in addition to that, we also work in ranges. So you aren't finishing the day eating 3/4 of a grape to get to the exact amount of carbs some calculator recommends. So let's go through some scenarios here. I don't have to tell you new action is required for a new result. Mindset tip here. What got you here won't get you there. Be aware of those words you're telling yourself. What if, instead of saying counting macros is hard, time consuming, or obsessive, whatever you think of when you think of macros, maybe replace it, try it on. Macro counting is effective, or counting macros will give me the results I've been looking for. Now, how does that change how you're approaching it? So here comes a really big dose of tough love. Really big. Brace yourself. Consider how much time you've currently spent complaining or thinking about your weight or disliking your body or wishing you could create a different outcome. I don't mean to be so harsh, but if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, you need a different sustainable approach. So how much time will it take to track macros? So this question is exactly why I created a guide called Metabolism Macros Simplified in 20 minutes a day. And I put that inside my program. So, and even if 20 minutes seems like a lot, I can assure you it does get easier. I spend less than 5 minutes tracking an entire day. Even creating a brand new recipe, only an extra 5 minutes after some practice. So if you spend 20 minutes of pre-planning your day for 2 weeks, you're going to be well on your way. And if planning your food feels overwhelming to add to your existing to-do list, okay, hard. I'm here to tell you that planning is the antidote to overwhelm. It sets you up for success, for hitting your macros, being consistent. And then each day it just gets easier and easier as the tracking app gets to know you and the foods that you're eating on a regular basis. And it also removes some decision fatigue. How many decisions are you making as a busy mom every single day on a daily basis? Let's reduce that by doing some planning. So, is macro tracking hard? That depends what hard means to you. Is it hard, or does it just take some dedication to learn? Is it hard, or do you just need to decide that you want to do it? Is it hard if you get the results you've always desired? Instead of saying hard, let's replace it with effective, optimized, efficient. And let's face it, the tracking apps are just getting more and more efficient to use to make it easier on you. There's barcode scanning, recipe copying, copying days to other days, copying meals to other days, and more and more. I compare it to getting a new phone. And at first it's hard, and then it's back to normal and you're enjoying all those new features. And in this situation, you're going to be enjoying the results that you're seeing. And so here's a question for you. If you knew that counting macros would help you get to your body goal, how much time would you be willing to spend to do it daily? Would it matter how hard it was? Would it really be obsessive, or would it be effective? What if being obsessive, you were focused on getting enough food and enough protein to fuel your busy day? Enough protein so you don't feel hunger. That's another benefit of protein that I forgot to mention earlier. It doesn't make you, it's more satiating. It makes you feel fuller. And bonus, the way I track macros, it's a little different. It's simplified. Let's really focus on what matters, not those tiny details that don't matter anyway. Yes, you can use a food scale to measure your lettuce leaves, but is that the action that's going to produce results? No, no. Let's focus on what's actually effective for real result, not those tiny details that leave you overwhelmed and stuck. So, in summary here, is macro tracking hard? Well, if you tell yourself it's going to be hard, it's going to feel hard. And that's your interpretation, your belief. And it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just like if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and decide that your day is ruined. But, however, if you get to choose how you interpret macro tracking. I feel like it's effective and efficient. Are you going to choose the belief that it's hard, or are you going to get proof that it's effective? So macros simplified is the most enjoyable way to lose fat and keep it off. We only need to track the macros that are actually going to move the needle. Make your diet effective without overcomplicating it. We track that data so we can be efficient. And then we make adjustments if your body is not responding. Macros Simplified allows for flexibility for your lifestyle. You get to decide how many times a day that you eat. You get to decide what kinds of treats you fit in. I'm sweets, maybe you're savory. You don't have to cut out foods that you enjoy. Yes, we need to eat 80%, at least 80% nutrient dense foods. But I also want you to have a life with balance. And we use ranges so that you can eat a little more on days where hunger strikes or maybe on the weekends. I want you to include some fun foods to prevent that weekend overeating. If you fit them in to a normal day, it's much easier to stay on track on the weekends. And then we build awareness of what you're consuming so that you can make future decisions. A little bit more tough love here, and this was for me. I thought peanut butter was a great protein source. I'm now aware, no, nope. Unfortunately, that is false. And I just didn't know until I started tracking that it is more of a fat source than it is a protein source, and even has more carbs than it does have protein. And then let's keep the results long term. There's a process for that. It's called a reverse diet. We don't have time to go into that discussion tonight, but this part of tracking macros allows you to keep your results long term. It restores your metabolism that may have adapted as you went into that diet phase so that you aren't permanently eating in that deficit. So, question for you. I've shared 4 full transparency with a little tough love, maybe a lot of tough love, steps to weight loss. How do you take what you've learned today and apply it to lose weight without relying on diets that leave so many burnt out, defeated, restricted, overwhelmed, or miserable? I have an opportunity to help you break through this cycle, to lose weight, specifically fat, in a sustainable way without having to give up your favorite foods and actually keep it up. I'd love to share that opportunity with you. If you're looking to put the actual steps to success together in this personalized plan to achieve your goals, I will invite you to join me in Mama Meltdown. This is a transformational program. Not only will you transform your body, but your relationship with food. And because you watched this class, I'm going to give you that first opportunity to get over $100 discount on your enrollment through April 3rd. And you'll save even more if you sign up for more for a longer term commitment. So the sooner you join, the sooner you can start. We officially kick off April 3rd, but the time you sign up prior to that date, it's free. And I do have 2 tiers. Tier 1, it's my bread and butter. It's my one-on-one program. It's full of accountability and communication with me, getting through the roadblocks, checking in with me weekly, goal setting every 4 weeks, and as much daily support that you need. And then I also have tier 2. Now, this is perfect for someone that needs some information, but they don't need as much accountability. So let me give you a little bit more information. Okay, so it's up to you. You can continue to feel stuck, spinning your wheels, going from diet to diet, not actually seeing the changes or the reflection in the mirror, or you can join me in Mama Meltdown to learn how to sustainably lose fat and keep it off without giving up your favorite foods, even eat dinner with your family. So let's go over a little bit of what you'll learn. And to be clear, you will learn a lot. It's about taking actions, doing the things, practicing, setting goals, asking questions, checking in, making adjustments. All right, let's dive in. So the first M in Mama Meltdown is macro simplified. That will help you lose fat, not just weight. It's going to give you balanced nutrition for your lifestyle. 80-20, enjoy life. Find that sweet spot. Think of it like a budget. You have X amount of dollars and you can buy 1 pair of leggings from Lululemon, or you could buy 3 pairs from Target. You get to decide. There's no right or wrong answer with macros. Sometimes you're going to pick one and another time you might pick the other. They're effective, efficient, and enjoyable. You track data, you make data-driven decisions and adjustments, and you include some occasional treats. It allows you to eat an adequate amount of food so that you don't consistently feel tired and hungry and restricted, because that's when my patience as a mom goes out the door. And I think all of you busy moms out there know what I'm talking about. It includes non-negotiables. For me, it's dinner with my kids every night and a date night. Sometimes I like to include ice cream, but it's not a non-negotiable for me. It's something I'd be willing to give up if I had to, which I haven't ever had to. But this is a key to make it enjoyable, having those non-negotiables in place. And that's a picture of us eating out. Okay, the first A in MAMA method is activity. And I'm just going to say it again: effective, efficient, enjoyable. Stop spinning your wheels and focus on the actual activity that's going to get you results. Make it efficient. No more spending hours and hours at the gym. The workouts my clients do are about 45 minutes, and I provide detailed instruction how to make them shorter and still get the most results. Make it enjoyable so it fits into your long-term lifestyle. And I'll teach you how to do that. Okay, the second M in the MAMA method is mindset. We've done a little bit of mindset today, and I have a couple little other things here. When you commit to my program, it isn't something you're just going to try. Trying gives you an out. Oh, I tried it and it just didn't work. No, with my program, we commit. You will be taking action, daily action, small achievable steps. We don't have to go all in, but we do have to set small achievable steps. The words we use are important. Okay, and then we're going to let the data you collect is going to drive the decisions, not just some one-time scale fluctuation, not a moment of weakness. And then this next one, here's a little bit more tough love. You're going to make choices and you're going to own your choices. That should be empowering. And sometimes we need to choose, and sometimes we're going to choose the birthday cake because it's delicious. And that's a great decision. And sometimes we will choose to be in alignment with our goals. And that's also wonderful. Okay, the last A is super important here. This is the accountability. It's the last thing I need for you to do is have the MAMA method, but have it not be utilized to its potential. We're going to take action on the macros and the workouts, and then we're going to report back to me for accountability. There's going to be some bumps along the road. There will be. I actually want there to be so that we can maneuver them together so that you can learn to get through these things on your own in the future. The macros aren't going to be perfect every day. Perfection is not the key to your success. Results won't be linear, they'll be up and down. You may want to give up, but that accountability with a coach for encouragement, tough love, adjustments, and to help you find solutions. I'm here to guide you inside the MAMA meltdown. Checking in provides an added layer of responsibility for doing the action steps necessary for your goal. It reduces worry and stress that you might otherwise experience making adjustments. We want to make this as effective and efficient as possible, right? So having a coach inside this MAMA method ensures that the changes are data-driven instead of emotionally driven. I've made a lot of emotionally driven decisions in my life. So I want to show you some quick results from other clients before I let you go. This is Jenny. This is just 21 days. And you can see that she lost some fat in just 21 days. Shelly was on keto before she was with me, and we added carbs back into her diet, and she ended up losing 10 pounds and 11 and a half inches in just 12 weeks. She's loving that food freedom. Audra lost 8 pounds and 9.5 inches without feeling restricted. Emily lost 12 pounds and 11 and a half inches in 3 months. Christina only lost 2 pounds, but 16 and a half inches, 6 of them from her waist. So what's included in the MAMA meltdown? We're going to help you tone up, improve your relationship with food without, while ditching that restrictive behaviors that have held you back in the past. Again, like I said, we have 2 different levels. The one-on-one has lots of accountability, an initial goal setting call, and then calls every 4 weeks, unlimited access to me through Voxer and weekly check-ins. The second level down has every other week check-ins, and it doesn't include some of those call settings. You're also going to get personalized macros, a progress tracker, so much more information. I'm just not going to go through all the details because they are, again, here's more information. When you go to this website, I will send you out an email with this as well. But when you get this link, this will be where you can get all of the details about what's included in the program. Okay, start date April 3rd. Join as soon as you want so you can get access and get a head start on your results. If you have questions, just reach out to me. I'm not here to convince you to sign up. I really want you to make an empowered decision for you. But what I want to prevent is the doors closing on this discount and you not making a decision. The longer you sign up for, the more you will save. Okay, this discount ends April 3rd. That's because on April 4th, April 3rd is the last day of year 40. And then I turned 41. And so that's how I decided to do this discount for this day. All right, one last slide here. All right, I am open to any questions that you have. Reach out. I had asked questions before I invested as well. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I love talking in the DMs. Or if you want to just jump on a quick phone call to see if it would be right for you, I am definitely open to that. There's also my email address. And just to be clear, I'll be completely transparent. There have been people that I have not recommended they sign up for my program. So I will be completely honest when we have a conversation about the program. So let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for your time today. If you have any questions either about Mama Meltdown or about any of the material I covered today, just reach out to me. I love having these conversations. It's really fun for me to get to help other women. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again later.